and welcome to Coffee Talk, an exclusive here on MyWayNews.com. We're coming to you from Jason Sears Flooring here in beautiful downtown Wayne, America, and our guest this week is the Executive Director of the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce, Wes Blecke. We're here to talk about issues relating to the Chamber of Commerce, Leadership Wayne. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about this week. So Wes, I guess to start off, Leadership Wayne is getting started. I think the next edition gets started here in September. And I know it's a program that a lot of people in the community have taken part in and really benefited from, and I think the community has benefited from their involvement as well. So, talk a little bit about this issue or this edition of Leadership Wayne that's coming up.
You bet. Leadership Wayne starts in September. This is our 8th year. We have 20 students again in the class. We cap it at 20. This is the second year in a row where we've actually capped out and have had to turn people away, which you never hate to do that, but it's a great problem to have. We've sent about 135 through the program, and like I said, another 20 this year. So we start September 13th. So we always start with a Myers-Briggs test. We talk to them about personalities, how to get along with their coworkers and their bosses and those types of things. So it's always an interesting first step, I guess, for the leadership process.
And the program, then, you meet on a monthly basis, I believe, once a month from September through May, I think it is.
Yep.
And each month there's a different, aspect of the program that you touch on.
Yep, there is. And we also bring in a lot of speakers. For example, for this first time, we talk about Myers-Briggs, your personality in the morning. We'll bring in Superintendent Mark Lenahan at lunch to talk about school, this kind of the state of the school. And then in the afternoon, we will have Randy Cantrell, Dr. Randy Cantrell. He's a rural sociologist from UNL, to come up and talk about rural issues and the problem with getting people into leadership roles. That there's, however many thousands of positions open for your local Kiwanis clubs. If you think about all those different types of leadership positions that you can take in your community, there's tons of those openings. And I think the numbers are for every person that can serve, so you got to be of age and mentally the capacity to be able to do that and those types of things. There's only for every position there's 3 people out there, and so if you think of it in that terms, you've got to step up. People have to step up, especially in these small communities where there's just a few people to make things go. We're fortunate that we have very strong civic organizations and people do step up, but I think the leadership program has helped some of that, some awareness to know that there are these issues and people you are not forced to do it, but if you want your community to succeed, you've got to be in those leadership positions. So I think it's really helped with that. And he brings a great spin to why you need to be involved. But other than that, we've got every month is something different. We talk about change. We talk about conflict resolution. We talk about city government, state government a lot. We go to Lincoln and tour the Capitol, sit in on hearings, usually floor debate. Meet with the governor if we can. We always meet with our local state, the District 17 senator. We do entrepreneurial leadership. We sometimes do life coaching and things like that, of time management, some of those. We talk about starting businesses, things like that. And then we end it with kind of a recap of why you need to be involved and why it's important to be involved. We started in September with these are the reasons to be involved and these are the big openings. And then at the end to say, okay, now what have you learned and why now would you get involved? So it's kind of a nice capstone there at the end. So that's the program.
I think one of the great things about this program, and I've seen it develop over the last several years, is you can see the fruits of the labor of the program in a lot of things that are going on in the community. I think one of the first places you can see it is on the Wayne City Council. I think three of the 8 members of the City Council are Leadership Wayne alumni. I think Jennifer Sievers, Nick Muir, Cale Geese, I think we're all part of that Leadership Wayne program. And so for them to go through that program and kind of use that experience or use that knowledge gained in that program to serve in city government, I think that's a tremendous benefit to not only to them individually, but to the community of Wayne as a whole.
Yeah, I completely agree. Jennifer and Nick actually took leadership before they were on council. Cale took it while he was on council. And we use Jennifer and Nick a lot of times for kind of our poster children poster people for why is it important to do these types of programs, because it really got them excited about serving, and they've said they wouldn't have done it if it hadn't been for Leadership Wayne. So that's we pat ourselves on the back quite a bit for comments like that.
Yeah, and it's something that you're looking forward to announcing here in the very near future is as a second version of Leadership Wayne, kind of a Leadership 2.0 that you're going to be unrolling here pretty soon.
This has come about, over a lot of years, people have asked about it. Our second leadership group, again, this is going to be year 8, our second leadership group kind of said at the end, what now? We had a really diverse group. It was a great group, very energetic, a lot of extroverts wanting to do more all the time. And they asked, what next? And we said, you go do things in your community. I mean, that's the purpose of it. Well, they wanted to formalize, to stay together and network and those types of things. We didn't have anything for them. And so we thought about it and thought, that's going to be a lot of work. I mean, that's a whole other program to coordinate. So over the years, every group has said, yeah, we then asked the question, would you be interested in a leadership, what we're coining right now, 2.0? And we've had very good response from that. And so Carol Welty, the UNL Extension educator that has helped us with Leadership 1.0, if you will, has been, very encouraging us to do this if we're wanting to. And so we decided to bite the bullet and try it this time around. We have 4 leadership alumni who are on the steering committee, or are the steering committee for this group. And so they've set up a program that I think will be very, 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 very informative, as well as really push the limits on what you know about your community and what to do next and how to get involved even more so. Leadership 1, we teach you how to get involved and how to do projects, how to do some of these things. 2.0 is going to be, we expect you will get involved, and you will do this project, you will do these types of things. So, and that's going to be being directed by the members in the group. And so they're going to, it will roll out around Labor Day, where we send out applications, things like that. It will be more of a competitive process. We're only going to take 12 in this class.
And do they have to be Leadership 1 alumni, or?
That will help the criteria, but it won't be mandatory. There will be a selection committee, probably this steering committee that helps with that. You'll have to write why you want to be in Leadership 2.0. So a little more in depth of not just fill out your application and the first 20 that get in, submit the application and get in. This is going to be more of a competitive process like this, if you will. So hopefully it is. Hopefully we get more than our 12 applications, and we do have to almost turn people down, if you will. I mean, like I said, it's bad to say, but we capped it at 12 because we think that's a good number to get people really engaged and be able to have that personal conversation, get to know each other better in the group, not just, yeah, I know who that person is, we did a personality test, and we kind of know them, but they don't talk a whole lot. This is going to be, you're going to be mandated to, you're going to have to speak, you're going to have to give your input on things. So it's not for the faint of heart, maybe, but it's something I'm very excited about. We've been wanting to do for a lot of years, and we finally decided we're gonna do it. The board of directors is fully backing us on this. Both leadership programs are subsidized by about 50%. Tuition, we'll talk about that quick. Leadership 1.0, we just went up this year to $159. Well, that covers meals pretty much, because all expenses are included with your tuition. And then 2.0 is going to be $225. It's going to be a little more, like I said, in depth, same meals, but we're going to be doing a couple more tours. Might have to rent a bus here and there and those types of things, so it'll be a little more expensive on that end. But both of them are subsidized by about 50% by the board of directors, which in turn is city, as well as all the membership fees that are membership dues that people pay to be a member of the chamber. You're helping subsidize this program, and like I said, the board is adamant about this needs to happen. So it's great to have that backing from your board of directors.
It'll be really interesting to see how this 2.0 group comes together, and what the fruits of their labor is after they go through that program.
You know, my hope is it happens every year, but a lot of leadership programs take a year off between. Sometimes you extend projects, you do some of those types of things, and sometimes you just don't have the numbers. So we'll see. Leadership 1.0, I didn't think would be going this strong into year 8 and having to turn people away. So it's really, I think, a testament to the program. And the program sells itself along with all the alumni that talk about it. So that's kind of the fun thing, that we don't have to do a whole lot of marketing with it because it fills up. Mm-hmm. From, like I said, just people talking on the streets about it. So it's kind of fun.
And I've gotten to see and talk with some of the people who are alumni of Leadership Leadership Wayne and some of the things that they have done in different parts of the community, and they've done some tremendously wonderful things for the betterment of Wayne and for the people of the community. So it's a great program. If you get a chance to get involved in it, obviously this year is filled up. But if you're thinking about getting involved in that program, you want to give Wes a shout out at the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce and get your name in early for next year, because that'll be it's a great organization, great opportunity to help out the community.
Yep, it is. It really is.
We're going to take a quick minute here before we talk further. I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors here. First off, Jason Sears Flooring here in downtown Wayne. Of course, they're the host of Coffee Talk every week. They have some great flooring and carpet products, including Cortec flooring and Dreamweaver carpets. You want to check it out. Some great inventory that they have here, and they can get you set up if you're looking for a new carpeting or for to do some work on a new floor. Give Jason a call at 402-833-1784. And then also our other sponsor right across the street here, right behind us here, the Coffee Shop in downtown Wayne. They have breakfast specials from 7 to 11 and lunch specials from 11 to 2, and they have the best coffee in town. I'm just going to say it right now. I go there at least once a week, usually on Wednesdays on deadline day when I need a little extra kick. The caramel latte is awesome, so check it out, the Coffee Shop here in downtown Wayne, America. Speaking of the coffee shop, I know Lucas and Mark have been very busy with business startups. They started up Rustic Treasures a few years ago and then bought the coffee shop here recently, started up another business downtown, and then now they have I guess a fourth entity that they're working on, taking advantage of the old fire hall here in downtown Wayne. Can you tell us a little bit about what they got going on?
Well, both Lucas and Mark have come through Leadership Wayne, and Mark's actually on our steering committee for 2.0. So they are obviously very involved in the community. When you think of entrepreneur, think of those two, because that's the mold. Yeah, 1912 building. I think yesterday they were starting to put windows in. I don't think there's glass in yet, but they're continually working on that. Beautiful building, beautiful old building that has been left, really not much has been done there. And so they'll do a great job with it, like they did, this building we're in that they used to own, and over at Rustic Treasures. I'm interested to see the floor upstairs, because it's not nice hardwood floor that they used to play basketball with when it was the boys club. Mm-hmm. They found the old original City Hall table, that I guess the old the City Council table that City Council would sit around. This is back in 1912, and so there's a lot of history in that building, tons of history, and I'm sure they will do the best they can to bring all that history out. Some of the things I've already heard them talk about and how they're going to make the building come alive with some of those stories. It's cool to see, and that's what it is. That's what it's all about. Historic buildings in downtown or wherever in your community. Once you lose those buildings, they're gone. You can never get them back. So whatever you can do to preserve them, I'm all in favor of that. Some people go to the extent of it has to be historically accurate and everything back to the original. Well, somebody can always do that. But if you don't have the structure there, you'll never be able to do it. So I'm big on, don't push people necessarily into taking out a second mortgage just to be able to get everything historically accurate. Get it up, preserve the building, and you never know what'll happen in the future. So that thing got a new roof put on it, I think in 2006 or 2007. That was, you got to take care of your roof and your foundation and those types of things before you can do anything else inside. And so it's got a good foundation, great roof, and I'm just excited to see what it's going to look like when they get done with it. I know it'll be beautiful.
And I think they're looking at maybe open up their part with the end of this year, early next year, I think they're looking.
I think the ultimate goal, what I've been told, is chicken show of next year, but that's to give them plenty of time. I think Memorial Day is a target date, but knowing those two, they'll be open in March or so, way earlier than expected, I guess. Yeah,
I usually drive by that building on my way home from work, and it seems like there's always some activity going on there, usually on the north side there, where they're loading and unloading stuff, and. Yeah. And I'm excited to see what comes of that, if it's anything like what they've done. Of course, they started in this building here with Rustic Treasures initially, and then moved across the street. But what they've done with their businesses so far is really, if you're looking up entrepreneur in the dictionary, those two guys' pictures should be in there, because they have done such a wonderful job in really revitalizing downtown with the businesses that they've brought in.
They have, Mike, and there's lots of great entrepreneurs in downtown Wayne and throughout Wayne. Irene and I went to Takema the other night to talk a little bit about Main Street and how our Main Street program has evolved and how maybe they could look at doing something like that. And I remember my takeaway from that was what I mentioned to him. I said, if you have somebody in town that's willing to do something, invest in that person. Yes, invest in the building, invest in this, invest in that. But if you can invest in that person and help them out to do something, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's kind of what I feel like Wayne is. There's some young entrepreneurs in town, obviously Lucas and Mark being a couple of them, but you invest in them, whether it be through that leadership program or whatever it might be, they take it and run, and you just see the things that are happening because of it. So that's that. It might be cliche to say invest in people, but I think it comes true. The fruits of their labor are shown, and not, like I said, not just Lucas and Mark, but the others that in town, the Jen at Swans, and some of the other great people we have in downtown Wayne, and what they're doing to help, maintain the environment and just make it better, enhance it all the time.
Yeah, the 7 years that I've been here, there's been some changes here in the downtown as far as businesses opening up or businesses moving out, and the state of downtown I think is pretty solid right now for the community. And I think really the general state of business here in town is pretty good as well. I know that you're always busy working on potential other projects, but I guess what is your opinion about the overall state of the business community here in Wayne right now?
Yeah, I think it's very strong. I mean, our weakness right now is not enough people to do the work because we have lots of job openings. But that's not a Wayne thing. That's not a Wayne issue. That's a Northeast Nebraska. That's an entire Midwestern issue right now, with unemployment levels as low as they are. Now, they are creeping up a little, which I'm not running for political office, so I can say this. That's a good thing. Honestly, that's a good thing to have a little more in the labor force to be able to, or to have to pick from. So I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I look at when you're getting invited to come speak to other communities to ask, how are you doing what you're doing? It makes you feel pretty good about the community you live in. And that's from housing, things that we have absolutely nothing to do about in our office. We just help those who do. From housing to Main Street to how did you get your industrial park to look the way it did? How did you come back from the tornado and those types of things? We must be doing something right, because it's easy to sit here and say, well, I wish we had this, I wish we had that, I wish we had that, we didn't have to go out of town for this. But when others are coming to us saying, how are you doing what you're doing? And sometimes they're communities larger than us. It's fun to see, it's fun to hear, and it's fun to share your stories with them, and then you reciprocate that, and they come back and they tell you what they're doing that might help you out at some point.
I think the industrial park is if you want to know what kind of business community Wayne has and what kind of people the community have, I think you take a look at an industrial park after what happened with the tornado there. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years since that happened. Yep. But for that area to have bounced back the way it has, and not only bounced back but got better than where it was 3 years ago when the tornado hit, I think that's all you need to show people is that what kind of community is Wayne like? What are the people like in this community? And that's a great example right there to see how that area has recovered and flourished in the wake of the tornado 3 years ago.
Yeah, and that wasn't coming in with government handouts and things like that to coerce you to rebuild. Now these people, the next day we're cleaning up and ready, getting plans to rebuild and how to do it. And if we're going to rebuild, we might as well rebuild for 20 years from now, not for just today. And so people put on expansions and stuff. Yeah, it's a beautiful business park. You hate to say that the tornado helped clean things up or make things better, but I think people came back bigger and stronger. And yeah, you see what it is out there today, and it looks nice, and the businesses out there are doing very well.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, Wes has a lot of irons in the fire beyond what you normally see with the Chamber of Commerce. I know another one. I guess we could probably mention. You mentioned it in passing there with Mark and Lucas's new business is the Chicken Show. We just got through with that here a couple of months ago, and that's always a big event for the Chamber of Commerce, and I know that the plans are already in store for next year. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have our chicken wrap up. I always tell that group, I I'm usually there to eat for the wrap up, to obviously give you all my great ideas.
They didn't have chicken wrap at the wrap, did they?
I don't know if anybody had a chicken wrap or not.
Okay.
But then I show up for that, and I show up for the chicken show proper. Other than that, I leave everybody alone, and things run way smoother when I'm out of the mix. No, Nancy Johnson here is the chair of that committee and has done a great job for many, many years. We've got a great committee. We're always looking for more committee members. But a theme has already kind of taken place for next year, and we're looking at designs. Again, I say we, it's really them. It's not me. I'm just told what to say, really. But no, July is very busy for us with chicken show, with vendor golf. You got county fair that we don't do a whole lot with, but we support, the people that do. It's a busy month. It's definitely a busy month. And then you get kind of a breather usually in August now. This year hasn't been so much with all the leadership stuff, with the new program. But it's fun to stay busy. That's good, that things are happening. You talk to some colleagues that are like, yeah, we're not doing a whole lot right now. And it's like, well, you got to create some of your own excitement. I think that's what we've done with leadership. When we're not recruiting a lot of businesses right now, because where are we going to find the workforce? And we're not going to, if you're you don't want to take from other businesses. You can't just cycle people through, and we've seen some of that recently. So if you're not out there heavily recruiting business right now, what are you doing? Well, try to create your own. So that economic gardening is a whole phenomenon of how you grow your own. So that's, you work on that, you work on the leadership skills, you get people excited about the current organizations and businesses that are in town and how we can fill those and make those better.
Wayne Area Chamber does a great job of not only working with the business community here, but promoting the community as well. And Wes, of course, the executive director, he's been our guest here on Coffee Talk this week. And Wes, I want to thank you for taking time to talk, and looking forward to seeing what Leadership 1.0 and I guess it'd be 1.8.
1.8, yeah,
eighth year 1.0, but what the two leadership organizations, really interested to see what they do with their next gathering, and see how those programs go.
I'm too. I'm very, very excited to see what it's going to turn out to be.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mike.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Coffee Talk here on MyWayNews.com. I want to thank our sponsors at Jason Sears Flooring and the Coffee Shop, both here in downtown Wayne, America. We'll have another edition next week here on MyWayNews.com. For everybody involved, I want to thank you for tuning in this week, and we'll see you with another edition of Coffee Talk next week here on MyWayNews.com.